Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Justice card, right? So in a lot of ways, interestingly enough, Leo, I actually feel like this represents justice this week, right? So wherever it is that you have been done a wrong, wherever it is that somebody has done, maybe that you've done a wrong, this week the scales of justice are going to swing, right? So whatever you sent out, you're going to get more of, in return, and whatever you have, and whatever somebody has done for you or to you that has been a wrong, this week it's going to be righted. I don't think this is about commitment this week. I actually feel like this is where the scales are going to tip. So whatever it is that you've wrought this week, you are going to get a whole lot of back. All right, so for your communications and actions and options, should I say, you have the Page or the Daughter of Pentacles. I love this deck. They're quite small though, so you probably won't be able to see it, but it's beautiful. It's a new deck. Now, what this tells me is this is a week where you may very well come into an understanding of what your next purpose may be, what that is for you at this moment in time. This week, what is really important to you, what you truly believe that you're going to put your heart and soul into, or should put your heart and soul into, is going to become very evident to you this week, right? So there's a really powerful sense of honesty from this, which I actually really like. The fact that you've got this through the guise of the Justice card means that in a lot of ways you're committing to what you believe your purpose is from here on in, which is great. But it also suggests to me as well that you are committed to seeing justice done for something in some way, shape or form. For your communications and conversations, you have the Six of Swords. So moving to easier times of it, finding ways to have a better experience of some sort is wonderful. Now, this is in your communication. So when it comes to communication this week, the knowledge and the information that you have recently gained is going to become very pertinent, right? The knowledge and information that has just made itself known to you, just made itself available to you, or information that you may have had for a long time. This week, it's like you know what to do with it, all right? You're coming into an understanding of how to use that information, what to do with it, where to put it. Now, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, this suggests to me that this could be a much easier week for you than you've had it when it comes to work. It does also suggest as well that you are choosing, this could be the deciding week, right? Maybe you've said to yourself, if my boss continues to be an arse, I'm going to give my 1 month notice. I don't know how it works where you are in the world, but here in the UK, once you've passed your initial probation period, it's like 3 months. It's like a month, right? So you have to give a month's notice. Excuse me. Now, that's the standard. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's less. Excuse me. For those of you, and for those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be a week where you're very, very clear on that, right? Very clear on it. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, the Six of Swords is very much a card that sees you moving into easier times of it, for sure. But it also suggests to me, because you've got the Justice card here as well, based on information that you have, you're going to be taking a step back from something. All right. So this is going to be quite an interesting week for sure. And I just get this sense that there are going to be a few wrongs righted this week. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that whole energy play out. When it comes to your those of you that are retired or no longer working, whatever news or challenges you've had arise for you this week, there is good news at the end of it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe this is that you've had a scare in some sort. Maybe it's that you've had some bad news of some kind. Maybe it's that challenging times have just seemed to have been a part of everyday life for as long as you can remember, which they have for all of us because of the pandemic, but I'm talking about more than that, right? This suggests that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that you are going to see the pendulum right itself in some way. So this is great. When it comes to your love and relations, you have the Three of Swords, right? Not easy. Quite frankly, because of the cards that are present, this could be that you find out that a loved one is sick. This could be that you're, it's not going to be the end of a relationship for everybody. It could mean that. I mean, it's underneath the Daughter or the Page of Pentacles. And so what this suggests to me is, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term relationships, this is about the final plans, right? So this week you could be discussing wills, you could be discussing all manner of official paperwork and or documentation. You know, when the time comes, who gets what, where everything goes. And those conversations are never easy to have. I think when you've got ample time, it's a difficult conversation. When you've got days, it's a difficult conversation. It looks like this week you're having to have one of those types of conversations, and it may not be easy, but it is going to bring you a lot of peace. It's going to bring you a lot of, once it's done, you'll be able to just kind of go, okay, you know what, now that that's done, I can relax. For those of you that are single and looking to be partnered, honestly, this week really doesn't look like there's a lot going on the love front. And that could be because your family time is demanding more of you. Maybe your interpersonal connections, all of that sort of stuff. This week, you could be feeling something in the heart space. When it comes to your money and materials, you've got the Five of Pentacles. So you've got this underneath the Six of Swords, underneath the Justice card, right? This is a week where you may be considering that you have to take a hit financially, but it's really not an issue. Especially not with what is shaping up behind the scenes in the longer run. And this I find very, very exciting. All right, so just sit with whatever comes up, whatever you may have to pay out, whatever you may, not necessarily lose, but maybe an unexpected finance of some sort, or maybe money that you were counting on doesn't go ahead for any number of reasons. With the cards that preceded this, and the Six of Swords there and the Justice card, this tells me that this is only a temporary setback. It really isn't going to be that much of an issue to you. All right. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is your neck, your throat, and your voice. This week, you need to be very careful with these things because there's a lot of air in these charts, a lot of air in these cards. So this general area of yourself, really look after. He says, when it comes to your home and environment, again, this could be an unexpected expense that comes up that you weren't expecting. It could be one that comes out of the blue. It could be that maybe a family tie or an interpersonal connection suddenly demands money, finances, or resources from you, and you're having to pay it. All right, Okay, so this card was the one that seemed to want out. So you've got the Gate 44 and Scenting. This card is telling me to tell you, dear Leo, to trust your intuition, right? I mean, I trust mine, which is why I've made certain moves this week. And this is also about familial ties and or connections, right? So whatever your instincts tell you about is more important than the work, than the job, than the drama, than the whatever. That's where you put your time and energy, right? The dog on the card represents those keen instincts that we all have and following them. And the gate 44 and scenting, it's like this ability to know something or to sniff something out. So I have to say as well, even though there's no specific card that speaks to that signature, there is a feeling this week that something is being uncovered, something's being revealed. And the fact that we've got that powerful full moon, right? The full moon, that's what this card is for. The full moon on the 20th in the sign of Aries is offering a trine energy to your sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo. So in a lot of ways, there will be a grand reveal this week. And when it comes, I don't think I don't think it will be such an issue. It's almost like your instincts and your intuition has guided you to know this before you needed to anyway. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a great week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Excuse me. All right, let me know how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.